Welcome to the Heartification podcast, where I interview people on how art has affected their lives and what it means to them. Art has a very special place in my life. It not only makes me feel happy, but it allows me to make others feel special. This podcast is all about how art has made an impact on others' lives, for all ages, all backgrounds, and all walks of life. You can find more about this podcast guest in my show notes. Without further ado, let's welcome my next guest. She is Miss Canada IFBB Fitness Pro Bodybuilder and online training coach. Please welcome my next guest, Margherita Di Bari.
Amazing. Thank you so much for having me, Avni.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on my podcast. So the first question I always ask is, how do you define art?
I love that you asked me this question because I think art, the way I see art is it embodies so much. I think the way a person just expresses themselves, however their soul calls them to express themselves, is art. Like even entrepreneurship is a form of art because you're creating something in this world. So art could be so many things. I think you could even just go outside and see the way a city has been built or the way nature is. So I think art is just almost like a frequency that you tap into being able to just recognize for its beauty. And then there's dance and visual arts. And I think art is a frequency that we could choose to see and just enjoy.
Yeah, definitely. That's like exactly my definition. Any way you're able to, express yourself and let out your emotions. And, even before I started doing my heartification, I used to think art was, only just like painting. And then there's the arts, so there's dance, music, singing. But when you actually look into it, art's everywhere. I'm on a computer right now talking to you. Someone had to design this computer, right? That's an art. I'm looking at a bookshelf. Someone had to design that. So literally, and as you said, the buildings, everything's art, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's awesome.
And what art forms are you exposed to?
I would say the one that really calls to my soul the most is dancing. I grew up dancing my whole life. So that's really like my heart and soul. Movement and music and just how the music moves my body is really like my special one. And let's go with that one for now.
Yeah, that's awesome. And do you think fitness is an art? And if so, why?
Yes, so that's exactly what I was going to say too. So you stole the question right out of my mind. But I believe that fitness is another one of my art forms that is so close to me. Because of the process of fitness, I find it to be art because as you strengthen your physical body, you're also strengthening your mind and you're gaining this mental and physical resiliency out of the process. And I just believe, building up your body is an art form in itself because the human body is so beautiful and it's so unique to each and every person. It's so different. You'll never see a body quite the same as another. So even just that is art in itself.
Yeah, that's awesome. And do you feel you were able to let out your emotions while you were doing any type of fitness?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Whether I'm having a hard day or I just have a lot on my mind, I often say that the gym or just like my little workout space is my therapy session where I can just let it all go, let the energy just move through my body. And you always just feel so good after a workout. So definitely it's my place of therapy.
Yeah, definitely. And, that's what I think, art is, where you're just able to let out all of those feelings you've been kind of just trapping inside you. And I think people need to just let it out more. And, that's how I feel when I paint. I just can, let out my emotions and it's just so relaxing.
Yeah, it's almost like you just shut the world off and go into your own creative zone. And it's very therapeutic.
Yeah, definitely. And that brings me, that brings me to my next question. Art can be therapeutic and it can help people through some difficult situations. So has art ever helped you through a difficult situation? And can you give an example?
Yeah, I mean, even when I was dancing, so much of my childhood, I was a competitive dancer, and we had to learn different choreographies and dancing pieces, and sometimes take on the emotions of maybe a more lyrical dance or maybe like an upbeat rock song and tap dancing. So in these certain ways, I was able to bring all of that emotion up and just like release it through dance for my whole life. And even now, of course, I'm no longer at a studio, but you know, I still carry that same practice even into my adult life now, where if I'm feeling anything, like if I have a bad day or something, or I just feel a lot of emotion building up in me, I just like shut off the lights in my room and I just put on my favorite music and I just let it pass. And yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And how do you use your creativity to help your clients improve their health?
Ooh, this is good too. Um, I think I use my creativity because I mean, a lot of what I do is in health and fitness, and it could just look like you're just going to the gym and working out, or you're just eating healthy food. But I kind of use my own creativity for the process of transformation to help show clients, like, on the surface, yeah, it might just be a workout, but when you go levels deeper, you start to understand yourself in a whole new light. When you consistently work out and exercise your body and eat a healthy, supportive diet, you start to realize how your thoughts change, your heart opens up and expands because all of this amazing, healthy goodness is supporting you. So I use my creativity to kind of widen the lens on the journey that my clients are going through so they could really see themselves like walking on this, like, glorious, beautiful journey, and they could really recognize and acknowledge themselves for all of the amazing work that they're doing.
Yeah, definitely. I think creativity is really important. If everyone thought, the same way, nothing would be different and you wouldn't attract, clients in a business and all the thoughts would be the same, It would just be like boring.
Yeah, right. And like there are so many people that may have, that may also be personal trainers and holistic nutritionists, but I think that each one of us are so unique in our creativity on how we express that and how we help our clients through that. So truly, again, just like bodies, we're all so unique, and yeah, our creativity is really special for what we do.
Yeah, definitely. Totally agree. And are you attracted to any particular artist?
So this is a little, yes, and I would say it always changes, but right now I'm attracted to an artist who, I mean, to me, I think she's an artist, but she's actually a yoga teacher. But I think what she's able to do with her body, she's so flexible and strong. And it's like, I'm like so inspired by her. Her name is La Ruga Yoga. So, I see that as art, just to be able to hold such beauty and strength and resiliency in the body and such calm peacefulness as she's like twisting and turning herself in these crazy positions, right? So I'm really inspired by her right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. And are you attracted to any particular art form?
Art form. I love all art. I love visual arts. I love paintings. I love sculptures. Right now, I think what I'm really loving is interior design, but with plants. So like taking like a I'm on Pinterest, like saving all of these pins because I'm like getting inspired on how to interior decorate my room. But I love like really like a green with like maybe leopard and then plants hanging down the wall. So I just love like these jungly vibes. And I've seen a lot of installations on walls that are actually just like they're like nature installations. It's just like maybe moss or flowers and plants growing and living on the wall. So I'm inspired by that these days.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you can be interested in an art, but not like be professional in it. Like I like interior designing too. Like I've like played games, where you just interior design. And I just find it really fascinating where you can just put your personality into a room. And even in school, I think we're starting a project where we have to like create our own room, which is like I'm really excited for because I'm like, yeah, I really want to do that. And my friend was like, yeah, it's gonna be super fun.
That's
So
cool.
I love doing like just because like I'm an artist and I sell my art, I still like all these different types of art as well, which is I think good. And even people just because they're they're a businessman or a businesswoman doesn't mean they can't be into other types of art.
Very true. Yeah.
And my Heartification project is all about giving back to the community, specifically to those with disabilities and illnesses. So how do you give back to the community?
I love that. So I don't give back to a specific charity organization, but what I try to do is in my daily life, I at least try and help one person without asking for anything in return. And that's just the way that I like to live. And another thing I like to do, because I do have a pretty large social media following, is anytime I see a startup or I really connect with a mission that someone is on, just like you, and I want to feature you on my account as well if you'd like.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. But I just like to share. I like to share amazing visions that people have and bring light to it in my community. I love just kind of being the networking connector to help people grow. And again, just like try and do something to help a person without asking for anything in return. No money, no anything. I'll spend as much time as they need that day, but I at least try and help one person every day.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you don't have to always do something, big to make an impact. You can do these little things on your day-to-day life that will make an impact slowly. It could just be affecting one person. You don't have to affect like hundreds of people, but just making that like one person feel happy that day, it's just awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
And how would you like people to get in touch with you?
They can visit my website. It's www.findyourfire.ca. And they can check me out there.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. Thank you so much for being on my podcast.
Or I will also give my social media because I want to feature you on that particular page. It's at Margherita, my first name, MARGHERITA _MSFITNESS, Miss Fitness _Canada. I'm going to post you because I love what you're up to.
Thank you.
And I think everyone needs to know about it.
Thank you. Yeah, well, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Have a great day.
Yeah, thank you so much, Avni. It was so nice talking to you.
You too. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. Remember, if you want to find out more about this guest, please go to my show notes where I have all the links needed. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe to my podcast series and help me by sharing it, leaving a rating, and a comment. I hope you join me on my next podcast. Bye for now.